Welcome to Romer's Pod, Amazon Savages edition. Today I'm joined with Mr. Jones and Mr. Jameson Philippi, and both these are Amazon Savages. Jameson did 1.2 million last year, and Taylor right under 1 million. They're both doing this full time. Taylor works 1 hour a week currently.
1 hour a day.
1 hour a day, and I thought it was 1 hour a week. And
last 12 months, I'm at 1.1 million.
He's doing some wholesale now. He did a lot of OA last year, and Jameson is doing a lot of RA, a little 30% wholesale and retail and online arbitrage. So today we're going to dive into some of these topics. We're just going to let it flow. We're out here at this Airbnb in the middle of nowhere in New York. And
Hankerson.
Do you have your mic?
Yeah.
You recording?
Hankerson.
Heck yeah. All right, let's run it.
I want to do a cheers to Avery for getting us together and having us on the pot. Let's go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So I usually have, I paid this race car driver to record some audio clips for me, and I usually have him talk about how this is extremely doable. I think a lot of people out there think that this is like a fairy tale lifestyle and that you can't actually sell on Amazon. And I had him record that if you truly try and you truly commit and you truly like put all your effort into selling on Amazon, you'll actually get fucking results. And so that's what I've been thinking about a lot lately. And I know Taylor and I have kind of talked about this off air, but a lot of people, you know, whether they're at the airport or just like walking by, when you tell them that you're an Amazon seller, they're like, wait, like for real? Like they don't actually believe you.
Yeah.
And so Taylor and I were talking last night, and we think it's like a belief thing. Like people don't have friends that sell on Amazon. People try it and they don't get instant success. People think that it should be instant success. People think that it should come easy.
Yeah.
You know?
We were saying that like the belief comes before. Like you have to actually believe in yourself enough to do anything that's required to start a business. Mm. And Avery was like, a lot of people like, you know, kind of like take action towards being an Amazon seller, being a business owner, but it's like a sort of just like making themselves like look busy.
Yeah.
And I think all of us as entrepreneurs have those like epitome moments where like, I'm sure you had one. I told Avery mine was like when I was listening to like this rapper talk about his come up, and I was like, dude, this guy that's worth millions was once like just like a normal dude. Like
What was his name again?
Russ.
He
had like a song. He has a couple songs about like wealth and like he read these books like Think and Grow Rich, Deepak Chopra, and I was like, holy shit, this guy was like a minimum wage worker and now he's a fucking millionaire rapper. And I think that what was your moment, would you say, Jameson, where you like were like, holy crap, I actually believe in myself. I want to start a business. Did you have like an epitome moment where you're like believed in yourself for like the first time?
No, not like that.
Do you believe in yourself now?
100%.
You believe in me?
I believe in you.
Oh,
and I believe in you too.
Mr. Jones. And
Oh,
me.
yeah.
What's that lyric? I need something to believe in or something like that.
Oh, I think it's like, it's about Boca.
Oh, yeah, Boca.
Yeah. Raton? Boca Raton?
No, or Botha.
Well,
Both.
yeah, no. But I didn't come like from you guys where like I didn't have a job, so like there was no other options. I was just doing this to get money to buy 99-cent tuna.
He worked a job. I never worked a job in my life.
So yours was more of a like, holy shit, I need to survive. I'm going to find a way.
Yes.
It was like an urgency thing.
100%.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just like, I think a lot of people don't think it's possible to make a full-time living as, not even as an Amazon seller, but just like as an entrepreneur. Because their parents don't.
Yep.
All their friends don't. And like nobody they actually know in person does it. And we live in like a skewed reality because now all of our friends are Amazon sellers. So everybody that we know, everyone we talk to, our whole reality of people are people doing this themselves, you know? So.
Yeah. Soros said this. He was like, it's an upward spiral. We literally can't lose. Like even if we have a rough month, if we have a rough moment in our business, it's like we're surrounded by winners. We're surrounded by people that are figuring this out on a daily basis. There's so many places that we can go to for help. We all believe in each other. It's like failure is really not an option.
Yeah,
as long as you continue to put yourself out there, you continue to stay connected with other people, and you continue to look for solutions.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
You can't lose.
So back to Jameson, you said like when did it become like a reality that like this could be a full-time income?
When I started on eBay, and I think I was probably averaging
It's
probably
like 40 years ago.
yeah, like when eBay first started, I was the first seller on there. Um, I was probably making $700 to $800 a month profit on eBay, and then I found Amazon, and I started doing Amazon, and I built it up to where my payouts were like around $2,000 every 2 weeks. I'd never seen those types of checks in a sense, payouts in a sense in my life, and I when I started to get those types of payouts, I'm like, holy shit, like I could actually do something with this. And everyone has their own journey, so I can't compare to myself to anyone else. So like I can't sometimes people ask me like, oh, give me some advice to somebody who's working full time but they want to start doing Amazon. It's like I had somebody on my last interview I did. I was like, I don't know. I never came from a place where I had a job, so I had no other options, so I didn't have good advice. But like when I was building up, every time I would build up on Amazon to like the point where I'm getting $2,000 payouts. Like I came from, I had a really really just rough background with my mother and family and just toxic people. And my mom at the time was a compulsive gambler and pretty sure like a drug addict, a pill addict. And she would go to the casino, gamble, lose all her money. And back then you could overdraft your account. You could go to the ATM with like $1 in your bank account and take out 500. And she would lose that at the casino. And then so the bank account would go negative. Well, guess what? My payouts every 2 weeks would go into that bank account. And guess who was paying all those overdraft fees, all those negatives? And then she would lie to me and be like, oh, someone stole my credit card. And, and then.
Oh my gosh, so you didn't even have your own bank account.
No, because I couldn't have my own bank account because of I used to do a bunch of drugs and everything like that. So I had creditors after me at the time, and I couldn't get a bank account because I overdrafted all my bank accounts, so I had to have one in her name.
Oh my goodness.
And every time I would build up, I would get knocked back down, and I would build up for a few months again and get knocked back down. She would come to me and be like, oh, hey, I'm going to be evicted tomorrow. I need $1,600 to pay my rent. Well, shit, I just got my Amazon payout. I've got, $1,800 to my name. This is all my sourcing money, all my money to survive, but I don't want my mom out on the street, so here you go. And then the next month, same fucking thing. And the next month. And finally I was like, if you do this again, I'm not helping you. And it happened again the very next month. And I had to make a tough decision and say, sorry, I can't help you.
Yep.
And she got evicted from her apartment and had to get rid of everything.
This
And
is
so,
like a harsh reality.
yeah.
This is like a really harsh reality as business owners, but also as like humans. I feel like we have like leeches, and that I don't want to call your mother a leech, but I mean, I love my family, and even I would say like, sometimes you had a monetary leech. Sometimes it's like an ideological leech, someone that doesn't believe in you, that's putting negative thoughts or doubts in your mind.
Right.
And I think like, this goes for business success, but it also goes for really anything, like especially business. If you're trying to make a major change in your life and go to that next level, and you have people around you that are doubting you or pulling money out of your bank account, it's like you have to make that difficult decision to be like, damn, this really hurts my heart, but I need to do this for myself.
Yeah.
It's like a tough love,
Yeah, yeah. It's like, you saw your mother as like the reality of that person was like $0 is the reality. Negative dollars is her reality. And so like I think a lot of people, like even just me and my parents, like they make, a teacher's salary each year, but you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So you look at like your parents' income, your closest friends' income, and then you think you should be doing the same level of whatever they're at. So like, I know how much money you guys are making, and so I mentally have that in my head, and then I have friends that make way more than you guys, and I have friends that make way less, but like, in my head, I know what's possible. I look at those. I'm like, okay, like I should be somewhere in like that's like how our brain operates. So like having your mother as that, your reality was like, oh, we don't make money.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like a poverty mindset.
Yeah, exactly. Poverty mindset and poverty reality.
Yes.
Like the money's actually negative, and I think a lot of people out there who are like watching are like, they live in a reality very similar to that, where every single person in their life is not making money. Therefore, like all these TikTok gurus, all these fucking people on YouTube like us are fake.
Yeah.
Like it
Scammers.
Have you ever seen the movie Toy Story?
Too.
where there's a scene where they go to like the pizza place and there's that crane game that goes and picks up the thing,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like how the people in poverty mindset live. Every time somebody gets on the crane, he's happy to get out. They all pull him back down.
Yeah.
And they just pull, like subconsciously, everyone around you is pulling you back down to be at their level,
Yes.
even though their intentions may not be to hold you back. But it's
Yeah.
like, it's just what they know, and they just keep pulling you down, and everyone stays down here forever.
I
And it's
agree.
really hard to break that cycle of being in that path, or,
Have you guys read Psycho-Cybernetics?
I haven't.
So that's a great book.
thought you were going to hit me with
It's
the
no, it's
nuts
not.
joke.
It's not by Peck. I like books by Peck too. Though Peck's really good. Have you read much?
For context, for the people that are watching, the past 13 hours, these guys have been launching, and Avery's gonna have to, if it's on YouTube, we'll have to put a clip of like these nuts peeing keel.
Dude, I wish that I would have recorded all the times that I demolished you with these nuts jokes.
So
Had to be at least 40 times.
Yeah, just because like you're a successful Amazon seller doesn't mean you don't make like 14-year-old jokes sometimes.
Don't give us that much credit for 13-year-old jokes.
But Psycho-Cybernetics is a book that talks about like, okay, uses an example of a salesperson. And the salesperson, they made, at the time it was like a lot of money, like in the 70s, like $5,000 a month or something in their sales job. Maybe it wasn't the 70s, but anyway, $5,000 a month was like a lot of money. And he was like the top salesperson. And then they helped everybody in the company with the sales process, and like by getting them more qualified leads. And so everybody was elevated together. But he stayed at 5,000. And whenever things would go really bad with the sales company, like leads weren't coming in, people had to do more phone calls, he would stay at 5,000. He would be at the top. And so emotionally, this guy had a $5,000 limit on
that is
himself.
what he believed in.
Yeah. And so he would work hard enough, just hard enough to make 5,000. And so I think a lot of people out there, they have friends that make 100,000 a year, and they think that's pretty good. And they're like, okay, 100,000 a year is kind of like my limit. And so they never ask for a raise at work or within their Amazon business. They don't even think it's a reality to do like millions a month, you know? But the reason why I love Miami events, Miami Sellers Conference, it's a conference that we host. Not even really trying to plug it right now, but
MiamiSellersConference.com, I just plugged in.
MiamiSellersConference.com. But the reason why I love these events is I'll meet like I'll be like obviously like the host, like the top person in the room doing this event, and then I'll talk to like some 20-fucking-year-old kid, and he'll be doing $250,000 a month on Amazon, and then that becomes part of my reality. I'm like, okay, 20-year-olds are out here doing $250,000, so therefore I should be doing like 10x that.
Yeah.
You know, and so just being exposed to that like on a regular basis, it kind of like, the thing about entrepreneurship versus jobs is with entrepreneurship, you can make like endless amounts of money. And I think people really underestimate how much you can make as an Amazon seller. I think we actually get comfortable.
It's limitless.
Yeah.
It's
Because
just-
you're not joking. He's like literally been working like an hour a day.
Yeah.
And like if you played your cards differently, you could probably be making 5x what you're making right now.
Absolutely.
You know, which is like ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's important to remind yourself like why you got into starting a business. You know, I think like the cool thing about it is like all of us share the same values of like, okay, well, like we all want to grow our business together. But I also think like a lot of us actually may have been more motivated by other causes than others. Like some of us maybe just, yeah. I love the branding here. We got go-to lister hoodie, go-to lister. What happens if we take off? We got go-to lister tats on the chest
I
too.
got my go-to lister underwear on.
What would you do if I got a Go Lister tattoo?
You'd have
20 free accounts for life.
a 90% affiliate commission.
Would you give me a steak?
But
I'd introduce you to Candace. Seriously.
so for those guys that you were watching, Avery said when he's about to make a joke, he'll say like Candace or something, and what he's actually trying to do is set up Jameson to be like, Candace who? And then Avery would say,
Candace dick fit in your mouth.
okay, no. So I was saying is, I think we get into business and we're motivated by different things. Yes, most of us want freedom. Most of us want more money. Most of us want to be able to travel and do all these things. But different people, I think, for me, I like my free time, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with business,
I think both of us, like, we want to travel a lot. And even if we had to work 10-hour days, I know personally I would rather travel and work 10-hour days than work a 9 to 5 and only be able to travel like 2 times a year.
Yeah.
So,
Same.
but I mean, fortunately, we've built our businesses in ways where, you know, when months are well, we make a ton of money and we don't have to work every waking hour.
Yeah. But to the person watching, I feel like Avery said, I feel like there's like a lot of people that like, or even what you were talking about, people are asking you like, how do I make that transition? I'm in a job right now. And I feel like, honestly, that's probably 90% of the people that get on our lives, ask us questions, is like, that's where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
They're working a job. They want this freedom. They feel stuck. They feel this like pressure, like I'm not making as much as I could.
Mm-hmm.
I feel restricted.
Yep.
And I feel like
Inventory.com.
there's a couple at least this is my personal experience. There's a couple like preliminary breakthroughs, and I think one of them is a belief thing. Like you really need to say like, I believe in myself enough, and I know that I'm capable of being a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the second one is like, you have to get to a point, and I think watching content like this really is extremely helpful, where you are just gonna say enough is enough. I'm not gonna let my boss swear at me. I'm not gonna be a bitch. I'm not going to be manipulated. I'm not going to be capped at $30K a year. And I'm going to go to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
You have to draw a line in the sand and be like, I'm going to raise my standards.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, you have to have that epiphany.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're going to be a freaking cuck at 40 and your wife is going to call you a little, because you didn't set your bar higher.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it in your 20s or 30s, you're never going to do it.
Do you think when you quit your job as a corporate cuck, do you think do you think you believed in yourself truly from day one?
When I quit my job, I was 100% like, I will make this work or I will die trying.
And looking back at what you
50.
were doing then, would you like laugh at yourself, or do you think you were doing the right things?
I was doing the right things with the information that I had at the time.
Yeah.
Which was go to Walmart's for 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
And I made it work. I
Yeah.
was finding leads. I mean, when COVID broke out, RA at Walmart, you were getting 100% ROI on weights, pools,
What was your strategy starting out? Like when you first started, were you like watching TikToks?
I watched
YouTubes?
one Reezy video, and I never watched content again for the next 4 months.
Shout out Reezy Resells.
I watched his Nike video in the garage, and I was like, if this guy can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And I understood.
Why? Because Reezy's like not that impressive of a human being, or?
I love you, Reezy. That's not true. Avery said it, not me. But no, I think we get this feeling. Okay, when you talk with somebody at one of these conferences, you get this feeling like, okay, if this guy can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
It's not that they're dumb. It's just like you feel like they're not that much better than me.
Yeah.
So when I found out about how like I make an FBA shipment, and I sent 5 books in a box, and those 5 books sold. And I was like, I just made $5 per book. And I saw Reezy on YouTube going to Walmart and just scanning, or going to the Nike store. I put the math together in my head, and I was like, I am making $150 a day at my 9 to 5. All I have to do is go to Walmart and find $150 profit per day after work, and I can exchange my salary.
Yeah.
And it made sense in my brain. And it took me a month or 2 to get to that point, but
Yeah.
it just clicked in my brain, and I was like, the math, for me, the math helped. You know?
Yeah. So you did a few things. You did that, and then you also subscribed to the Gary Vee belief of document your journey. So what you were doing, you were posting on TikTok
3 times a day.
with no goal in mind.
I mean, 6 months, I didn't get a video over 5,000 views.
And then eventually you went viral a couple of times. You amassed 100,000 followers. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like, what type of role did that play in your business development?
That was the game changer. I mean, I luckily I did meet Jameson without TikTok, but I met you through TikTok. And I told the story last night, like, he taught me how to, like, you can send more than 1 SKU in a box. I didn't know that. I probably lost like $4,000 in shipping,
I learned that from Barry.
See, he's trying to set me up, guys. Trying to set me up.
Taylor's learning. We abused Taylor.
In Miami, I was extremely abused. But no, networking is 100%. Like, okay, the first step is getting rid of the mom, or at least the limiting time, in restricting those 5 people.
Yeah, get rid of your moms, boys.
Well, if the mom is toxic, I limited the time around my mom and dad
Yeah.
when I was building.
Yeah. It's still weird for me when I go back home. I love my parents, but it's just weird that like they leave every day for 8 hours and then come home. I've never worked a job in my life, and it's just bizarre to me that people live that way.
Yeah.
And after being around like you guys so fucking much, like just all my friends that do this, like I forget sometimes that people live in that reality. And I think I have like an unfair advantage over a lot of people because that is my reality, you know? So I think like you gotta have at least a few Amazon friends out there.
Yeah. Well, that's the next step is like, finding those 5 people.
Yeah.
And I think that like social media helps you do that for sure.
Yeah. So you post it on social and.
Yeah. And then met people and it's like, oh wow, there's other people doing this.
Yeah. Even if you just like post on social just to meet people and like don't get anything else out of it, like that makes it worth it.
Yeah. When you popped off on Periscope, did you meet other sellers or you found a lot of sellers through Facebook?
Yeah, I had already built a big network on Facebook prior to that for a couple years through the green room, and then just the Periscope thing really helped elevate that. I got lucky. And
Would you say that the Facebook networking blew up your business faster? Like, did you have any epitome moments where you're like, holy, like you met other sellers, like in the early days, the first couple years?
I would say like early on the Facebook, joining the green room and like connecting with all those people, because a lot of the people that I met in that reseller Facebook group I would still consider my best friends today, and that was 8 years ago now. So I kind of built a really strong foundation early on of really good people. I got lucky and attracted the right people that are still in my life today, and then the Periscope thing kind of helped build that network of people out in other areas that weren't just Amazon. It just built a really big network around the country.
Yeah. And like I guess like I feel like everyone gets different value out of like networking. What do you feel like the people that you met through Facebook groups, do you feel like the biggest value that you got from them? Was it like pushing your limits? Like, wow, this person's doing so much more, I can do more? Was it sharing bolos? Was it like, what was the biggest value, do you think?
I'd say definitely a mixture. Some is, sharing bolos and having a small circle of people that are really good in certain areas of Amazon or e-commerce. I have a really good mastermind group, me and 2 other friends, that they're both 2 of the smartest people I've ever met in this game ever. And how I'm even part of this group, like, still blows my mind because I feel like they're way up here. But we have a really good group, and I'm good with toys, and they're good with other things, and like we come to a group and we share stuff, online arbitrage deals, RA deals, and we're able to just share and grow. And then also just having so many friends in this business, I know if I'm ever experiencing a problem, I know who to go for to help fix that, or like, oh, they know how to do this, okay, boom, and then they know they can come to me. Or even like I have friends that do Amazon that may not need help from me, but they're like, oh, they have a friend that's stuck here, oh, let me call James and, hey, can you help my buddy? And then I'm like, yes. So it's like there's always someone willing to help and give you some direction. So it's like I have a big network. So if I ever any problem I experience, I know I can find the answer in this community.
You can solve problems.
Yes, exactly.
Because you can tap into a network, and even if your immediate friends don't know,
they probably know a friend.
Somebody else's brain.
Yes.
Who knows? I think another big thing people underestimate is like product knowledge you get from networking. Like just finding products by being friends with a lot of people.
Like leads, you mean, or?
Yeah, like actual products like that you sell. Like I think it's something you only share with like a few people. But one of the greatest things I've learned from networking is like actually like good products to buy. And it's more of like, that's more of like a friendship thing, I feel like, rather than like, oh, I have 10,000 Instagram followers.
Do you think it helps that your software gives you access to all of their logins?
Yeah, I just look at everyone's products that use GoToLister, and no, I'm just kidding.
That was just a joke. I'm just kidding. He would not do that.
Giant leads list that we'll sell one day.
Avery, if this is Avery's video editor, cut that part out because we don't want to.
No, we're going to keep it. If you guys are interested in that leads list, drop a comment.
But yeah, sharing products, definitely a big value.
Yeah. So for both of you, you guys both started with arbitrage. What do you think is the fastest way for a complete beginner to get to 100,000
a month?
Yeah.
Jameson, you go first.
Somebody's brand new out there. They're like, I want to get to 100K.
Today.
This may not See, like the way I got to 100,000 is, I don't know if I could give that knowledge to somebody and they'd get to 100,000. I mean,
I'm trying to get comfy over here.
I got to 100,000. So when I started this business, I had way more time than I did have money.
Yeah.
Like when I started, I had a couple $100 to buy products. So that you could spend $100 like that, but then you have I had no job, and so I literally, I kid you not, I'm not even exaggerating. I would go into a Target or a Walmart. I'd walk in at 8, 9 in the morning, and I would leave 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. Like I worked there in a sense, where I would go down every single aisle and scan I didn't scan the whole store, but I would go in the toy section, say, and scan every single toy. Yep. And I would write down in this notebook. It probably wasn't the most best way to spend my time, or maybe there was other ways to record the data. I was writing down everything, like the UPC. Okay, this product was a break even. Let me scan this when I come back next week and see if it's this was $2 profit. All the good stuff I would buy, and I did that for years because I always had way more time than I did money. And thankfully, that helped me. I was building a product knowledge so vast and far that would help me in my business today, 8 years later, where I can walk into any random mom and pop shop store and I know exactly where the money's at. Every time I scan nothing, I walk in, boom, take out $1,000 of profit, go to the next mom and pop shop's toy store, and I can go into any video game store and do the exact same thing. And now it's become easy. And now I'm able to do that $100,000 a month doing RA because I know where all the products are. Once I find these stores and know how to find these stores, I know how to walk into any store and grab profitable stuff. Now, is that something to give? No, there's probably a lot better ways to do it this year. Do I know the ways? No, because I'm sure there's probably somebody could do that similar, but cut probably 90% of the time to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that would be to do that, but I know that's probably not the best advice to give somebody. I'm just saying that's how I did it, how I learned all the products. But you probably, because you're a more of a new school Amazon seller, you probably could help somebody easier get to $100,000 a month than I probably could.
So you're saying okay, if you had to start over today, you're just saying so much now that you would just be able to go in stores and pick your profitable product.
Yes.
But if you had to start over, do you think there would be a faster way to do product research? Would you use any tools out there, or would you try to take the same approach again?
I would probably do the same approach, which probably is wrong. Not probably, I know it would be wrong. I'm not very good with all the different tools and softwares that we have available to us. I don't know how to use probably 99% of them.
So when you looked at it one week and compared to next week, are you just looking at Amazon price?
Yeah,
and sales rank?
Yep, and the sellers that are on it and if there's profit in it.
I think, and you're looking for patterns.
Yes.
There's patterns in brands, there's patterns in seasonality, there's patterns in pricing, there's all these patterns. And I know exactly I did a similar thing. I think I did it for a shorter amount of time, but very similar. Walmart's for a whole year.
Yeah. We didn't have a lot of, there wasn't a lot of information up there. There's so much information. I remember printing a dang rank chart. This rank, 200,000 is 1% in toys or whatever. All the categories and all the top 1%, 2%, 5%, 10%. And I did that as law.
Yeah.
Not knowing that the rank may be 200K tomorrow, but 50K, it's constantly changing because things are selling, maybe 5 units sold today, but then maybe for 4 days nothing sold. So the ranks were, back then I didn't know. This is the law. Okay, this is 200K rank. All right, this is good. This is not good.
Yeah.
And I made a lot of mistakes. So I learned completely different than, if I were to go do that. If I were to take that knowledge today and go start over, I don't think I would be successful in this business today. I don't think I could do it.
Especially if you were doing RA, I feel like RA's changed a lot.
Yes, it's not like it used to be.
Yeah, if you scanned a whole Walmart, you might actually give up. You'd be like,
exactly. You'd probably make more money at a 9 to 5. Doing what I did. I'm not very good. I get that people will ask that question a lot. Oh, what advice do you have me to get to this? I don't know. I'm straight up on it. If I had to start over today, I don't think I would make it.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think, okay, so let me give you what I think. So the question was, what would you do for someone want to get to 100K as fast as you can?
Yeah.
Within any model of making money online, the longer that it's there, the more people that come in and usually make it more difficult. The best thing you can do is get on board with someone else that's already doing it and watch what they're doing. When I met Jameson, I sourced with him for 2 weeks. We went on multiple trips and I learned a lot. I went to the stores that he was selling or sourcing, So I think the first thing you can do is make friends with people that are already doing it and they're succeeding. if you find a way to get
Did
around.
you have that intention when you started though?
No,
Yeah.
not but 8 months in when we met in August, looking back, I'm like, I wish I would have gotten sooner, because I was gunning at the hip. I knew I could do it. I knew the products were in the store, but I was extremely inefficient at finding them. But actually, Corona made it extremely easy. Actually, because of coronavirus, it actually was pretty simple. But like right now, there's no pandemic. I don't think RA is that easy. It's not nearly as easy. It's more difficult. There's a lot of people that do really good at it, but you're going to save an incredible amount of time just finding someone that's already doing it. Pay for their coaching if you have the money.
Yep.
If you don't, then do what Jameson did. If you're dead broke, then you have to invest your time. Then you need to find a way to get to the $3,000. If you already have $5 or $10,000 and you have a credit card to buy inventory and you're not going to abuse that money or make content to get around people that are already winning, you're being stupid, I think.
Let me add to that too, like, because I noticed this is a lot of things where, like, the reason, like, why I started, I made friends with Taylor and actually started talking to him is because, like, I get probably a ton of people over a year period, like, message me on Instagram or even meet me in real life, and they're bombarding me, like, help me with this, help me with this, help me with this, like, da-da-da-da. Like, and it's like, like, not that I don't want to help people, but I just, like, whoa, buddy, like, at least buy me a drink first.
Whoa!
But, like, when we met, you offered to help me first. Because we were talking about courses and stuff, and like you were doing TikTok, and I was like, at the time I wanted to make a food guide, and you're like, I'll help you. This is what you do. You fucking went out. You spent time helping me first, and I'm like, this is a good guy. Like, he helped me. He doesn't owe me nothing. He doesn't know me, and he took time out of his day to help me with something that I needed help with.
Yeah.
And that automatically, I'm an open book at this point. And then here, let's go sourcing. This is what the fuck I do. Boom, we're going to fucking stores, and I'm like, when I go shopping with people, you get 50% of what the fuck I find. I'm like, I don't like shopping with people. If we're gonna go into a store together and it's competition, I'm not shopping with you. I'd rather go by myself and make all the money.
Do you remember when we went to that one Target and that guy? There was 3 of that one video game or that one toy, and he took like 2 of them, and you were pissed. Do you remember that?
No.
You were so furious for the rest of the day. There was like a Mario game or something, and like you got there, but you needed to go get somebody, and you went and got.
Oh yeah, that was fucking bogus. Like I was at the case.
So
Dude, I was at the case. There were all 3 there. I wanted to buy them. I stood there for what, 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
No one came, and finally I'm like, all right, let me go find somebody. And by the time I found somebody, somebody else came up there and happened to get lucky and find an employee before I did. Yeah. And like, I was just pissed at the situation. It was like, fuck, because I had those.
Did he take all of them?
I think he took like 2 of the 4 or some shit. But it was just like annoying because like I was standing there, like, so like that was just like dumb luck and just whatever. But
like,
anyways, like, let me go back to that. Like, if you're trying to like, you need help in this business and you're not paying for it, like, try to find a way to like give value to fucking help somebody.
Yeah.
Like Taylor did, and we ended up becoming good friends. And then, we went shopping. I remember we were going to all those fucking Kmarts and like everything. Like every time we went shopping, because I remember you had mentioned this to other people, and I went sourcing with other people, and they're like, "We heard you like you split or whatever," like because you had shopped with some.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, if I go shopping with you, I'm split everything I find in the store. If there's 6 of these and 4 of these, guess what? You're getting 2. You're getting 3." And I would hope you do the same, and then that way we both win and we both learn at the same time. We both make money.
Yeah.
So like I try not to shop with people that don't split with me. Like if I go shopping with somebody and they're just like I find whatever, like then I'm not gonna go shopping with them again.
I would also like add, you should probably have a prerequisite before you invest in a program. Mm-hmm. Like something that I've been doing with myself lately is before I buy anything, whether it's like I haven't even bought a fucking mic for this podcast yet.
I know.
I'm like,
2 of these mics are mine.
Can I get a Hoya?
We're like bootstrapping this bitch. But the reason why is because like I have not proven to myself yet that I'm doing this podcast every week. Like I got to prove to myself like at least 6 weeks doing this podcast consistently, and then I'll allow myself to buy a mic.
Love it. Love it.
So like that's the principle I'm living by now. Like so whether it's travel, jiu-jitsu, like I'm not gonna buy myself a nice jiu-jitsu gi unless I go to practice every fucking day for like 2 months. Mm-hmm. Then I can get it. And so I think a lot of people think a course is going to solve their issue.
Nope.
And so they buy a course, and this is a huge problem with the industry. People buy a course and they expect results from buying the course.
Yeah.
They have a sense of entitlement. Oh, I bought Taylor's course and I didn't get results, and I've been putting in 4 hours a month. The fuck? Put in 40 hours a week.
Yep.
Treat it like a fucking job. Like,
Dude, 40 a day.
treat this shit. Put in 10 hours a fucking day. Like, I'm actually really fucking pissed and tired of people expecting Amazon to be easy. And I think that all of us are actually a part of the problem because people see us on Instagram living the lives that we live and they assume that it should be easy. Mm-hmm. And so back to what I was saying, don't buy a course unless you set up an Amazon account, unless you actually try to buy a product, unless you actually do, like, set up like 5 things that you should do to actually show that you give a fuck about doing this business. And then if you're willing to go through those 5 things, which are probably like set up an Amazon account, buy a product, list a product on Amazon, and then reprice it and
spend $500 on inventory.
Yeah.
If you cannot find $500 and then actually go out and spend it and even lose it, you are not cut out for the business.
Yeah. Like, don't buy a fucking course. You're gonna confuse yourself.
Let me ask you guys this: so somebody coming new into this space that want to buy a course, do you have any advice for people how to buy a good course so that you're not buying a course?
Buy a course from somebody who's actually doing, like, that has results.
Or screw the course and
how do they find people that are actually doing the results, that are actually doing
just
this?
Pay attention and don't be a fucking idiot. Like, look on YouTube and look at Instagram, and like, if they look like they're full of shit, they probably are.
Well,
if they're like posting, like, living a lavish lifestyle, and you don't think they're actually, like, if your stomach is like, I don't think that person's actually making money, or
use your discernment, your wisdom, like see, like, is this person legit?
DM them, see if they reply to you. Like, find at least one person who's getting fucking real results, and then offer to pay them. You know,
Yeah.
Just be careful of, because I mean, I wouldn't even know where to put a number on it, but I know there are people in this space that sell bullshit courses.
Yeah, for sure. But
so be careful.
I think 90% of what's on YouTube is legit.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, Kevin David's probably like the biggest scammer in the space.
Shout out Kevin David. We're gonna tag you, man.
Even if you should go
Dude,
watch Kevin David.
What about Landon?
Landon, yeah.
Land on these
too.
nuts?
Oh, Jameson.
You didn't get me on that.
I know I didn't.
But if you guys go watch Kevin David videos, even if you went through Kevin David's course, you'd probably get results. Like, actually, like, his course probably fucking works. This dude Kevin David took a screenshot of his sales and he edited in a comma in the wrong spot on one of his courses, and then CopyZilla found that out and just, like, exposed him. So even this fucking scam artist who's selling, like, a bullshit course, I guarantee you if you go through that course, I bet it tells you the right things to do.
Yeah.
Like, you know what to fucking do. You find profitable product, you fucking buy it, and you sell it on Amazon. Of course, there's, like, a bunch of intricacies that go in, but I think that people actually use scam artists as an excuse to not take action themselves.
I think, like anything in life, if you want a 6-pack, dude, you got to sacrifice 2 hours a day. Okay? You don't get this without restricting your diet and working out. Mm-hmm. If you want a beautiful girlfriend, you need to be disciplined and you need to be emotionally intelligent. You need to look good. Like, anything good in life requires a sacrifice. So the people that think that you're going to make $500,000 a year and not sacrifice your time and energy and failure and all this pain is mind-boggling. Now, the context of it is people actually expect it to be easy because there's hundreds of people making thousands of dollars pitching a dream that it's easy and anyone can do it, because if they told you it was hard, you wouldn't pay them for a course. Now, with that being said, I think it's better to pay for coaching. Every single person that's paid me $3,000 for coaching, I've literally pulled out my Amazon catalog. I'm like, let me help you. The sad part is half of the people still don't do shit because they have their first failure a month in and they give up.
Yeah, we have a student. We don't have to put this student on blast, but we actually shared, like, a really, really good product with him, and probably, like, top 1% Amazon product, and he's just not taking action. And so, like,
taking limited action.
Can you share the ASIN with me?
The ASIN. I can share this.
Can you share the ASIN with me, and I'll
made an ass out of yourself.
We'll tag it right here.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, we're down for a few ASINs.
So, Jameson, can you dive into your ideology on happy wife, happy life?
You want me to?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Sure. Let me take a drink first. I don't like that saying. I kind of live my life and I have my relationship.
Is your wife happy?
Fuck yeah.
Hold on, you don't have a wife.
She's my girlfirlfriend.
Well,
I just wanted to.
Up the gun there a little bit.
I just.
Is his wife happy? He said yes, so.
You ready to?
But I have a saying that they have this, the saying "happy wife, happy life." My saying is "happy me, happy we," and I truly believe before getting into a relationship, you need to be even when you're in a relationship, you need to be 100% selfish in the sense that I need to pour everything into me to make sure that my gas tank is full. Because if I'm full, then I can give 100% to her, and it's very simple. I think same thing. I want her to pour everything into her. Because you can't give what you don't have. If you're running on fumes, how are you going to, pour into your relationship, and your relationship's supposed to blossom and grow if you're running on empty? So I need to be selfish in the sense that I got to make sure my finances are in order, my fitness, my health, my diet, everything, my education. I'm growing every day in a certain area because I feel full. Guess what? I'm going to make sure she's full, she's growing, she's moving forward. And, that's the way I think a relationship should be. Happy me, happy we.
I like it.
What do you think that saying stemmed from? Like happy wife, happy life. Like what do you?
It's a good question.
Like what do you think? What do you think like that? What is that word when like that's called a not an analogy but
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm talking about?
Not alliteration. It's not the same.
There's like what are those common phrases that we use all the time?
Idioms. Is it idiom?
I don't think it's an idiom.
I don't know. I know what you're saying, but I forget what it's
we'll
called.
Google it later. But okay, where do you think that? Like, what do you think that came from? What do you think? What do you think that means?
I think it's pretty obvious. It's like if your girl's fucking cranky all the time, your life's gonna suck.
So what do people do? Tell them what to do.
I don't have a girlfriend.
Have you heard Andrew Tate's philosophy on this?
No.
He's like, a man's mood is actually, and this is just selective clips. I haven't seen all the clips that he's talked about this, but he's like as a man, like our mood is like sort of like not as important. Like no one really cares how we feel per se. It's like men's suicide is way higher because like it's kind of frowned upon for men to like go be emotionally vulnerable. I remember when I lived with you, I was like, I don't think I should go talk to Avery about how I'm feeling right now. Because there was just sort of this like,
yes,
it's like
you're not supposed to talk about your feelings.
It doesn't really matter. Whereas women, it's a complete opposite.
Yes,
a group of women get together and they all talk about how they're feeling, and that's totally normal. Mm-hmm. So Andrew Tate talks about this, and he's like, well, as men, it's like our job to be better, to make money, accomplish our mission, and get shit done. Yep. So it's like how we feel on a day-to-day basis. You might be a little bit more sad, a little bit happier some days, but overall, like if you're in your masculine, you're sort of owning your shit, and you're taking responsibility for everything in your life, you're not avoiding things. It's overall pretty, like, consistent. Like it's not like highs and lows. Whereas like women are more like emotional beings, and our mood oftentimes when we're in loving relationships can sometimes be heavily influenced by the mood that our woman is in. Mm-hmm. Like if they're having a great day, fuck yeah, we're having a great day. I think that is where that saying it has some roots. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've only ever been in like a 2-year relationship, so I think I'm extremely unqualified to answer that question.
Avery's like, I don't spend time with women, so.
I spend time with women, but I think short-term relationships are very different than long-term relationships.
Yeah.
And I think the term wife implies really long-term relationship. So, I mean, if you have a business partner, your business partner's not happy, your life's going to be hell.
Yeah.
If you have friends that aren't happy, any type of relationship.
Is there something you wanted to talk to us about, or? No, I'm just kidding. Why are you laughing?
He's probably just
I just look at it.
Jason.
What?
Oh, I don't know. You're...
What? What are you laughing at?
Yeah.
What?
My toes? Should we show them?
They look weird.
They're connected. You're putting me on blast right now.
I didn't mean to, but I was laughing hysterically. What's wrong? What are you laughing at? What's going on?
He's laughing at Taylor's toes right now.
I can't believe he's putting my toes on blast.
40 minutes in here, he starts laughing at his toes because his toes are fused together.
Listen, I am not embarrassed.
I'd never seen that before. I've never seen that in my life.
I'm too lazy
and
to
I just
get
looked
up,
down and one winked at me.
But we can take a picture and put it on the screen.
It should be
so
the
people.
thumbnail.
I used to count people's toes. I had a weird thing where I literally, I don't know why, and I just make sure everyone had 5 toes. I must have seen somebody when I was like little with like 4 toes, and one time I was counting my friend's toes, and his toes were just like Taylor's, and I was like, holy shit, like he's got.
But they're not all the way connected. Like they're actually still a separation.
Does that make you a faster swimmer?
No, I swim sideways.
You think people that own cats are more agile?
What were we just talking about?
We were talking about happy wife.
Happy wife, happy life.
We can move on though. This is a business. This is an Amazon podcast. So
yeah, well, I mean, I think the concept of people who are in your life long term, if they're happy, you're happy. Like it's kind of like the same thing with business partners too, you know. So yeah, back to Amazon. What do you think the future of your Amazon business is? Like, is your plan to become financially free through this?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
My goal is to. I'm 27 right now. My goal is to like. I feel like my goal the past this is my 4th year on Amazon. My goal the first 3 years has been like to grow my income. Like that's been like my obsession is like.
I'm sorry.
Are you laughing at my toes, Tim?
You put on a sock. I'm just playing.
I'll go upstairs. You guys can finish it.
I'm just playing.
But no, my obsession has been like just getting that income up, like the profit per month up.
Yep.
And then, but no, for me, I'd love to take the profits and I'm investing. I got putting some money in crypto, putting some money in cash. I see myself like 32, 33, like having a few $100,000 at least, maybe more, invested, saved, have a couple properties. I feel like that's the goal to wealth is like you're going to put it in an asset. It could be a listing software, or maybe it's real estate, or maybe it's crypto.
So you're using your Amazon business as like a way to pump cash.
Yeah, like I feel like Kevin O'Leary's like you should have $100,000 saved by the time you're 33, and I agree with that. Like,
what do you think your per month profit, realistically, like, what do you think like your goal is in the next 18 months?
So
how high do you think you could get in 1 month profit?
That would be 18 months from today.
Yeah, what do you think like the most you can make in an 18-month time frame right now?
Well, my goal has been to double my income every year. So, are you still laughing?
No, you like double my income every month.
Yeah.
Like I was.
So I would say that on average this year, maybe it's somewhere in the range of like, let's see, we're 6 months in. I'm at like $100,000 for so far this year. So, what's 100 divided by 6? Just less than 20.
83, right?
18 months. I mean, I think it could be as high on the high end, minimum like 50 to 60, but I think it could be up to 150, 200. Yeah. For me, it's a capital thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be spending more time if I had more capital, you know? But I think, like you said earlier, there's really no limit.
Yeah.
There's really no limit. If all of us right here, we're spending 3 days a week with Amazon sellers, making $3 million a year profit, all of us would be doing more. None of us are spending time with Amazon sellers doing $3 million profit per year on, okay, maybe a few people once or twice a year, but not daily or weekly, you know? So I just think it's literally just like what we believe is possible. So
if you had to talk to a younger version of yourself, 2020 or 2019, 2020, right? You started.
I started in 2020, yeah.
What are you telling that Taylor that he needs to do in order to, because right now you're doing pretty well. Let's fast track that. What does that Taylor need to do differently? You have 5 minutes to talk to yourself in 2020. Like, actually, go back in time.
I could do it in 30 seconds.
What would you say?
I would say capital is everything and working smarter. Do not put your head down and do the same thing for 6 months and think that, oh, I'm working hard. Work smarter. Look at what the people that are doing 10 million, 50 million, 100 million, look at what they're doing and look what they did, and then do those things. It is better to take a month off of studying those people and then get back to your business than it is to put your head down for a year like I did and go to Walmart's every day. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You can work smarter. That's what I would say.
And what is it that those people are doing different? The 10 million people.
They're taking massive risk. They're finding capital. If their goal is to make $100,000 or $200,000 profit, and they know that they need to spend 100 or 300, and they only have 150, they're finding people to give them 150,000.
Yeah.
they're not making excuses. They're getting the capital. They're taking that risk. They're not comfortable with what they're doing, and they're constantly looking for that next level.
And how do you get the confidence to spend that much?
Just results. All of us here have results of years of selling.
There are a select few of young men out there, and I've known a few that will actually take on like capital, and they'll blow it on shitty inventory. So what constitutes good inventory for a complete beginner that does have capital? Somebody might be out there who's watching that has like 20K saved up from their job, and they're like, Taylor's saying go all in, and
No, you need a track record.
yeah,
If you don't have a track record, you should really start with $500 to $1,000. I
yeah.
would.
And so talk a little bit about product research and what constitutes good products.
I mean, I don't know what you're averaging. I feel like a good product is 30% ROI. Like that's like a.
What are you doing? Like, are you like talk us through like how do you know a product's fire?
You know a product is fire when you're able to identify a pattern, and you know that the keep of the brand, whatever. Like this product is worth more. If I can get it for 40 and I know that it's going to sell for at least 70, or maybe it'll sell for 40 now, but it's going to go up to 70 in the future. Like it's worth more than what I'm buying it for. I'm getting a good deal that no one else is getting.
Yep.
That's how you know it's a good product.
By
Like,
the way, if you want to see Taylor break down some keeper graphs, go to oneaceandaway.com. We shot a course together, and it has every single strategy that we've used to identify good products. And what we found together is, like, we've actually like been looking at the top Amazon sellers, and we find they get most of their products or most of their profit from a few of their products.
yeah,
So, like,
they're going deeper on some items and not super wide.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have the fantasy that like big Amazon sellers have all these different ASINs, but if you look at most Amazon sellers' inventory, especially like at the medium scale from like 100K to 500K, most of those people just have a few ASINs.
Yep.
And so our philosophy is find a few good ASINs, so you're one ASIN away from like making a few $1,000s extra profit. So oneaceandaway.com, you can see me break down some keeper graphs and
When my
strategy.
business, so June of last year, have you had a month where you broke even in the past year? Or 2 years, 3 years? Where your business literally made zero profit?
James has been breaking even every month.
Have you had a month where you made $0 profit? I've had 2 months where I've made $0 profit.
I actually had them.
What?
We're still recording the audio. I don't know if mine's been picking up.
What, it wasn't recording?
Yeah, I don't know when it cut out.
Oh shit.
Hold on a second.
The video stopped?
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Hold on. Keep y'all's going.
Yeah, I actually had a horrible month where I actually lost money in January of 2022.
All right, guys. So we're back at the pod. My phone. Apologies for not having the video for a while. Let me make sure we're rocking and rolling. Yep, we are. And so off camera a little bit, we were talking about how Taylor last month made $0 and a lot
June of last year.
And how much were your sales?
I spent 40, 50 grand, and my sales were. Okay, maybe I was.
You recording?
Yeah, I'm recording. I just
All right,
started.
I'm back.
Cool.
I spent at least 30. I think my sales were 60. I'd have to check. But I mean, I broke even, dude.
So if Taylor would have posted that on Instagram and you were watching it, you would have been like, oh, Taylor's doing $60K a month. He's making a lot of money. But Taylor made $0. And so do you want to talk a little bit about the reality of business and sometimes you just don't make money and why that happened and what people can do to prevent that?
Last year, I made $80,000 profit. 2 of those months, I made $0. And both of the months, I had 50K plus in sales. And I bought products that were not good. They tanked. And it was a poor buying decision. In June, it was a lot of clothing and shoes that I wasn't knowledgeable, high return rates. In November, it was a lot of costumes with also high return rates. So I just say be super careful about clothing and shoes. If you don't know what you're doing, you can get burned with products that have a high return rate.
Yeah.
It's actually not worth it. But number 2, yeah, like orange bars don't mean a whole lot. And I was playing the game wrong in the sense that like Avery plugged the One Ace and Away challenge, and again, what we're trying to do in this free course is to tell people like, look, don't go around buying 10 of this, 10 of this, 10 of this, 15 of this, 20 of this, 10 of this. So in June when I broke even, July and August, 2 months back to back, I made my 2 biggest months at that point. I've broken it now, but was 15 grand profit in July, 15 grand profit in August. Those were my 2 best months of last year, and that was on 2 ASINs.
Mm-hmm.
It was only a 20% ROI, but the ASIN was selling 1,000 units plus a month. And I was like, holy shit, I've been doing this all wrong. I need to find ASINs that are selling and that I can get it for a good price and go deep as hell on. That's what I learned.
Yep.
And that's been huge for me. So I look for fast-moving stuff that I can get for a fair price.
When is it not intelligent to I guess I kind of have two parts to this question, but maybe going too deep on a product? Like, what risks come with going too deep on a product? And then I also want you to talk about, at what point do you sell your product at a loss just to get your money back?
Honestly, I feel like these are probably better questions.
I think I'm intentional with that because I actually think you're the right person to answer this because you've done a lot of it over the last year. Like,
okay.
I know that you've bought inventory that isn't the best. Even like in the past few months, like you've decided I would rather get that money back and invest it. So
I think, okay, there's like a lot of variables that would come up that would cause me to liquidate something. If there's like, a listing could go to search suppressed. It could tank because of other sellers. There's so many things that could happen.
Yep.
If I have an inkling, like there's an ASIN I bought 100 units of last month, it went to search suppressed. But I had that happen to me on that other listing that you just got on. I knew that this doesn't last forever. I waited 30 days, the search suppressed went away, and guess what? Now it's selling.
Yeah.
And I got it for 30, it's selling for 69. Mm-hmm. That would have been stupid of me to liquidate because, I would have got my 30. If I liquidated at 30, I would have got my 33 grand back. But now I'm getting 6,900 back, Mm-hmm. So I think in some situations it's better. Other situations, which are the listing tanked and it's not recovering. You can tell if you look at a Keepa if a listing's not going to recover because it just sort of goes down and it's just sort of like,
yep.
It's just hanging out. And in those situations, just get your money out. Yeah. Or if you come across way better products and you can break even, I'll take my money. If I have a product and then I have it, I bought it, it tanks, it's at break even. Mm-hmm. But next week I come across an ASIN with a 70% ROI, and that ASIN I have 20 grand or 10 grand locked up, liquidate it, get your money out, and buy that newer product. Mm-hmm. It's all an opportunity cost game.
Yep.
And if you have a great product, don't be a stubborn idiot and, I'm going to make a profit. Get your money out. Capital is one thing. It is a tool and a lever. If you have a good opportunity to make money, pull out, break even, take a 10% loss, and invest in the new thing.
Yep, 100% agree. Let's talk about Q4 strategies. So I know I've been to your house, and you have like rooms filled with fucking inventory. Do you want to talk a little bit about being like a chipmunk and storing your
my bar dolls? Yeah, so my Q4 strategy has changed drastically over the last 2 years. So back in 2021 Q4, I got hooked up with some friends that I've known for years, but we just yes.
So this is one of the reasons we do the D's nuts jokes. Is no, I'm just kidding.
And we did a buying group. There was probably 7 of us. We did a buying group, and I would say collectively over 2-month period, we probably spent, I don't know, $3 million.
Holy shit.
Between how many people?
Between like 7, I don't know, maybe like $2.5 million. But it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
I was probably the smallest seller that was allowed in this group. I probably spent $300,000 to $400,000. And we did, it was probably 90% Amazon to Amazon flips. Where we would like, Amazon's got 2,500 units left. All right, John, you're gonna take 6. Okay, Tony, you're gonna take fucking this, and we would buy out.
But can I ask you this? How do you know Amazon's not gonna come back in stock?
So we were using past 2 and 3, 4 year Keepa data. Every Christmas, Amazon would run out of this. The last 4 years, the last 3 years, and we would collectively put
Still sounds like a little risky.
Yeah.
But
and
anyway,
so
you guys are obviously confident, all you guys. So you guys.
And some of this stuff is stuff that we've all flipped on our own. Everybody would have their own ASINs they would flip every Christmas, and then we would share them with the group. But then we would all buy that, and I had a bunch of ASINs. I was doing this for years on every Christmas. Amazon would sell out, so I would stock up in October, And basically, by the time Q4 was coming to an end, a lot of other people had a similar strategy. Amazon obviously collects more data than Keepa, more data. They're getting data from every angle, so they know how deep to go every year. Even though they've sold out the last 4 Christmases, they got better the 5th Christmas, and they did not sell out. Or they would stay in stock, but then they would slowly lower that price so it's like, shit, we sell now, we're losing 70% on this ASIN. And it just, I would say, over probably 75% of the ASINs just did not work out for the group. And we all sold them at different times because we needed capital. And I had opened up my Plum and my Spark card, and both of them had well over $100,000 limits. They both were maxed out. And come the end of Q4, I was stuck with a ton of inventory that I didn't sell. Some of it I started liquidating because, one, storage fees were insane. I think I spent like $6K in storage fees in December. And I had to start dumping because I had to pay credit card bills. But I knew if I dumped everything, I wouldn't be able to cover those things. So my Spark card, like I remember I paid, it was like $150K maxed out. And when the due date hit, I didn't have the money. And I got charged that 3%. And I would start paying it down a little bit, but I didn't have enough money because I was selling everything. So a lot of my stuff I was selling at 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% losses.
Damn, how much money do you think you lost on that?
Gosh, man.
30 grand?
Way more than that.
Yeah, because he spent 300.
Way more than that.
So if it tanked 30%.
Not all of it. A lot of stuff.
That's
I was
$90K loss.
Yeah.
If it tanked 30%.
I some of the stuff I made a little bit. Like there were some of my best home runs. It's like I made 15%. Like I had a couple SKUs that made 25%.
Gotcha.
But the vast majority of them were a loss.
Do you think you lost like more than 30K?
Oh yeah, for sure.
100 grand you lost?
No. Probably I'd say probably 50-ish.
Yeah.
But come January, I had a really good January in sales. I lost money in January because everything was selling for a loss, and I had to do the only thing that I was good at. January 3rd hit, I hopped in my car and went on the road for 60 days, 50 days or something like that. And I sourced all the way through the country doing exactly what I know how to do. One, I didn't, like people were like, what, you did that? You paid off 100? No, I didn't pay off the whole debt. Like, I had a couple people like say that on my post when I posted about it, like, what, you paid off 100 grand profit? Like, and it was like, no, I paid off like some of it. It was enough to kind of build up a little bit of capital to put a dent in it. And then, I worked it out with them. I kept paying it off. I paid it off over like 6 months, and I ended up getting it back down. And so the next Q4 comes around, and it's like, okay, I'm not doing any of that. I'm not speculating. I don't give a damn if Amazon's gone out of stock on this item for the last 100 years. I'm not buying it. Like, I literally treated Q4 exactly like I treat, April, like I do June. I'm just going to take advantage of the velocity in Christmas.
Yeah.
And I've gravitated towards that strategy along with me doing a lot of my buying for Christmas in January. March, April, I'm buying, seasonal products. I'm buying Legos half off. I'm getting my stuff at, 50 to 70% off of retail that I'm stocking up. So like this year going into Q4, I'm going to do good because I bought tens of thousands of dollars of Legos between 30 and 60% off of retail. And I bought a ton of seasonal stuff at 70 to 90% off of retail that I know is going to perform well. And even if everything, say a lot of the stuff didn't work out, which I know it is, I made a lot of, with Lego, it's really hard to lose on it when you're getting it half off, So even if a handful of the SKUs didn't work out, it's like I got in at such a cheap buy cost that I'm not worried about, overextending myself and getting myself into that hole. So this year, last year, I did not chase any of the home run, like, oh my gosh, this is the hottest toy in the world, go out and buy it. Like, I didn't care. I saw so many things on the radar, people were going, that's fine, y'all have fun. I pray you guys make money. Yeah, I hope you guys do good with it, but that's me. I'm just going to do what I've been doing.
I feel like that's some shit that, like, a lot of people, I feel like a lot of other people have gotten screwed in Q4 because, like, there's this feeling of FOMO.
Yes.
Yeah.
In January, February, when you hear about other sellers posting their screenshots and shit, and you're like, fuck, I didn't see that.
You see people winning in Q4, you're sourcing, you're like, I gotta buy more. What are they buying? Oh, somebody's buying this, I gotta buy this. And,
I definitely
I've done it.
I definitely felt that in February. I was like, damn, I should have gone so much deeper because I was like, other people did so much better. I could have done so much better. But I feel like that's like a story that's probably actually more common with other sellers that don't really talk about it. That
Yeah.
get people like, I'm going to match the hype.
My orange bars were on fire. October, November, December, January, bro. Green up over last year, bro. Like I freaking dude, I sold so much those 4 months, but I didn't do very well overall. But
Did you take the loss on your taxes in 2021 or 2022? Two.
Yes, I took the loss on that, so it was great for that.
So I want to ask you what the biggest lesson was, if you could condense it down to like one paragraph from that whole experience. But before we get into that, I want to talk about go-to lister. We're talking about orange bars here. One of the things about orange bars is they don't mean shit. Obviously, Taylor Jones had orange bars at $60K last year, but if you would have looked at his go-to lister account, which he didn't have at the time, and we did not have profit analytics at the time. But go-to lister shows you not only your orange bars, but your dark orange bars, which are your true profitability. So with go-to lister, you can see how much profit you're making on a daily basis. So next time you see a guru out there posting their orange sales, ask them to post their go-to lister sales, because that's going to really tell how much profit you're making on a daily basis. We factor in your buy cost, we factor in Amazon fees, so you can quickly see in a glimpse of the last 30 days or the whole year how much money are your products truly making you. Back to the pod.
I would argue if you're in the Amazon community and you post your Amazon screenshot, I'd be like, share your go-to screenshot.
Exactly.
Your orange bar don't mean shit to me.
Yeah, we're like the IRS now. We like verify that we don't report your stuff to the IRS, but we're like the IRS in the sense of like if you're a fake guru, go-to lister and make sure that you're a go-to guru. We actually should give out go-to guru badges at this point.
I feel like you. When I used to listen to Grant Cardone's podcast, I remember, like, I'm not kidding, I would listen to them every morning for like 3 months, and he would. That's CardoneCapital.com. If you guys, it's CardoneCapital.com. You guys want to invest with me? That's Cardone Capital.
GoToLister.com.
I guarantee you, if you went back, I don't know what he's doing now, but that was 2021, March, April, he would say CardoneCapital.com at least 100 times in an hour.
Yeah.
You should do that. Be like GoToLister.com.
GoToLister.com. GoToLister.com.
Dude, Grant Cardone's a marketing genius.
Yep. So you got to be consistent. I'm trying to grow this company, and I'm being very fucking consistent with it. You guys will see podcast every week. If you're doing Amazon product research, don't expect to put 8 hours in your fucking job and then 4 hours every night. Some people would be very proud of themselves if they put 4 hours in work every night. They work their 9 to 5, and they come home and they put 4 hours in work. Most people wouldn't have time for their family at that point. 4 hours is a lot. You're telling me you're putting 4 hours in a fucking day. You're putting half the time that you put at your job, and you expect to make more than your job makes. You're putting 8 hours in your job. You're putting 4 hours in your Amazon business. Flip those numbers.
Go
around.
get some modafinil and work till 2 a.m.
Exactly. You guys got to put work in to get results. But back to the pod, back to Jameson. One paragraph summary of the biggest lesson you learned when you lost that $50,000 doing Amazon to Amazon flips. Like if you had to tell yourself in one paragraph, Jameson, don't fuck this up. Don't make this mistake again. What would it be?
A mixture between one, don't follow the crowd. The fear of missing out. A lot of the like I said, the majority of the buys that Christmas were very strategic, and there was a lot of other people in the group that were selling $5+ million a year. Very smart people. So like we weren't just throwing darts in the dark, buying stuff that we think would do good. Yeah. We put a lot of strategy.
You guys
into
it was an anomaly. Like the pattern said this is going to happen.
Yes, and it just didn't.
It didn't happen.
So just. What was the question again?
Well, what was the biggest mistake? I mean, I think
the biggest lesson you learned from losing 50 G's.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly, and just honestly,
you said don't follow the hype, which I think that's great advice for you.
And also too, like if it is Q4 and like you can sell this product, this product today is $10 profit, but like you're thinking, oh, maybe in December it'll be $30 profit. There's one thing I learned early on in the business is that you can't go broke making a profit. Take that money today. If you can make money on that product today, do it, and then reinvest that into a new product. Or if you're able to replan that product, maybe you can. Just focus at what you're good at. Your orange bars don't got to be all that for Christmas. Obviously that's where the vast majority of our sales come. We get a lot of velocity during Christmas. Just focus on good selling product, good fast selling product. And also too, put this in the back of your head. Sorry, this is a little bit longer than a paragraph. Put this in the back of your head. focus on stuff that's not going to get returned in January. If there's this hype toy that's selling, this toy that's $50, but it's selling for $300 at Christmas, but then supply is going to catch up in January and people are going to buy it for $50 and then return the $300 one. Like, try to avoid getting yourself stuck in those situations on stuff that's going to get returned. Like stuff that's super inflated in price, I don't want to sell because I know it's more likely to get returned, and I'm going to take a bigger loss on it because I'm going to return it broken, used, or whatever. So like, I try to like stick right in the middle where it's like, if I buy a product for 40 and I can sell it for like 70 or 80, not like a product I buy for 40. Like, I mean, I love those ones that I buy for 40 and I can sell for 200, but it's like, just stick with stuff that is going to have very little chance of getting returned, and just stick to what you know at what you're good at, and just avoid the hype. Honestly, that's huge.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I want to talk to these two men on the next pod. We'll do a part 2, more about in-depth Q4 strategy. We'll talk more about product research, what their dreams and aspirations are for themselves in the future. So that's all coming in episode 2.
Hey, I wasn't done.
But no, we're not done tonight yet.
Oh, okay.
Jameson's 30% wholesale, and actually Taylor's majority wholesale right now. A lot of online arbitrage people out there watching this / retail arbitrage people, they look at wholesale as this beast that is unattainable. What advice would you two have for landing wholesale accounts, and how would you approach wholesale as a complete beginner?
I would say that it's not.
Great, Taylor.
What's that?
Oh, yeah, that's great. No, I'm just playing.
Jameson's a bully.
I was gonna say something to your. You had a lot of good points. I was gonna add something to your Q4 strategy,
Q4.
but I lost it.
Episode 2, guys. You got to tune in episode 2.
I would say.
You got to pop a modafinil before that episode.
I haven't taken modafinil in forever. I would love to.
Let's just get jacked up on caffeine tomorrow and shoot part 2.
Let's do it, dude. Oh my god. Have you ever taken like a nootropic like modafinil or anything? Oh, you know who had it? That place we got the cigars yesterday. They had the Adderall. Oh my god, we should have bought some of those, dude.
We make a road trip tomorrow.
Oh my god, we should have bought some of those. Okay, anyways, actually I think we can get it on Amazon. We can overnight it here.
Wow.
And we'll all take an Adderall and then shoot a 4-hour podcast.
I'll have espresso.
We'll each talk
You
for
guys.
1 hour before the other person cuts them off.
Okay, but I would say that wholesale, like, don't overthink it. Like, it's actually like way more simple. There's different skill sets involved, but like, if you're selling, I don't know, some brands like Lego or Nike, like those are more OA products. Like, I don't think you're gonna find a wholesale direct account for
No,
Lego or
probably
Nike.
not.
You're
Definitely
gonna
not.
probably have to get those, but there's other brands, there's other that you might stumble upon that you can get wholesale prices for, So when you're doing your research, ask yourself, is this a brand or a product that I might be able to buy in bulk?
Mm-hmm.
And 70, 80% of the time, maybe the answer to that question is a no. But you only need 1, 2, 3 brands that you can get in bulk pricing. Here's the reality of the situation. In the same way that most people aren't willing to do the 10 hours in Walmart, most people aren't willing to call a fucking wholesaler. Most people aren't willing to call a brand, email a brand. If you're willing to do that, and you find 1 or 2 that
What did you say the other night? You were like, last night you said something like, it's kind of awesome that a lot of people don't even try because the competition's like zero.
James or Avery was like, most people like literally have like 1 hurdle. What did you say outside? We were just talking outside, in the gas station. You were like, what did you say? Do you remember?
I said a lot of things.
You were like, most people don't. They have their first difficulty. They have a product tank, something. You lost 50 grand and you fucking. What did you do? Hit the road for 60 days. Most people have their first adversity. They're like, yep, this is stupid. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
That's awesome for us. People, we don't want competition.
Yeah.
It's
actually kind of scary how little competition there actually is out there for Amazon sellers that truly fucking try. Because you guys are successful in the community. But I've been around you, and you haven't worked on your Amazon business at all today, or yesterday, or the day before. And
I actually repriced 2 ASINs, which took me about 3 minutes.
Hey, settle down, you little workaholic.
if you guys were true, and I'm not saying you should do this, but if you guys truly gave 100% of your effort and your time to your Amazon businesses, imagine where you could be.
Yeah.
You know?
if I was a workaholic, I would spend the next month. Like, this is what if I were doing if I was like 100% committed. I mean, I'm 100% committed to my business in the sense that I won't let it fail.
I think.
But
I would
also
explain you as 100% committed in your life. You were trying to maximize like travel, your love life. You're trying to maximize your health. You're working out. Like, I think you're trying to maximize your life. And so if you maximized your business, you'd be minimizing all those other
If
areas.
I was like, okay, I'm breaking up with Diana. I'm not traveling. I'm going to live in my dad's basement. I love you so much, Diana.
Happy wife, happy life.
We're not married. No, just kidding.
Happy girl, happy world.
See, the difference between Jameson and Taylor, I say happy wife, and he just doesn't even correct me. And so,
You know what? Shout out to Diana. She's the first woman that I've met that I'd actually consider marrying.
Do you want to propose to her right now?
Diana, if you're watching this, no. Okay, but no, seriously, if I were to go, okay, let's take the business and go 120.
Can you show us that one more time?
Business?
120, okay. Got it.
This is what I would do. I'd be like, okay, wholesale is the move. It's too much work. OA, RA, always, maybe OA Black Friday. Okay, wholesale, brands, and I would get funding. I know that if I really tried, I could get $250,000 a loan of some sort, business loan with a bank or a private lender, maybe pay 20, 30K.
Any private lenders out there, hit this man up.
Send me a DM. I'd love to work with you. But if I was like going to go balls to the walls, I would spend 4 hours a day finding investors, and I would spend 4 hours a day researching brands and wholesalers and calling wholesale accounts.
Yeah.
And making connections.
Yep.
But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fuck ton of work. And, yeah, I think that's the problem, you know. We keep probably sound like a broken record, but everyone tries to make Amazon sound so easy. But on the flip side, like I said, there's like no competition. There's not that many people truly trying out there. So if you do give 100% and you put all the fucking work and you do everything you know you're supposed to do, I think you can make a ridiculously higher amount of money than you actually think is possible.
I know you can.
Yeah. Because we're out here bumping, 6 figures a year.
Yeah.
But
7.
I think if we...
Oh, you mean profit?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes, 6 figures profit. Well, like the most I've made in a year is probably like $250,000 on like a good year. But we've also had our rough years. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. But I mean, I've been doing jiu-jitsu every day. I've been fucking salsa dancing. I'm out here with the boys right now for the weekend. Like, if all we did was focus on Amazon, the results are so much
I appreciate
more.
you guys being here. Can I be honest? My opinion was like, when I found out there was no cell service, and I've hung out with you before, and I was like, Jameson's going to get to the Airbnb. He's going to be pissed. There's going to be no service. He's not going to connect to the Wi-Fi because he's paranoid. I was like, they're going to be pissed. They're going to be so like I was like, this is stupid. I shouldn't have even, I was like,
You're totally right. You shouldn't have.
like all in my head yesterday before I came out here. I was like, oh my God. But
So, does that wrap up our thought on what we were just talking about?
What were we talking about?
Wholesale.
Wholesale. I want your opinion on wholesale now.
Yes.
So, are you done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So, the way my
Bro,
wholesale
what's wrong with your feet, dude?
I'm wearing socks. You want to borrow one?
I think the pod missed this part because I think the camera cut out.
Oh, that's right.
But Jameson's like a 17-year-old kid.
And he made fun of my feet.
He just started laughing at the fused toes of Taylor
has
Jones.
no socks on, and he was talking, and I would just looked over at his foot, and he had just like a weird.
Do you want to apologize?
Not really.
Well, I'm gonna show them.
Yeah, it was a foot. I'd never seen a foot like this in my life, and I just saw it.
These toes are connected.
I'm pretty sure one of them winked at me, and I just started laughing hysterically. There were cute little stubby little piggy toes, and I'd never seen one in my life, bro. And I just lost it. I can't even look at him. Like when he talks.
Well, do you know the actual like dictionary definition is called bofa?
No, like seriously, it's like this fungus.
Bofa toes. Bofa these toes.
Okay, back to the pod. Wholesale tips and the benefits of wholesale. Should people pursue wholesale? Do you plan on pursuing wholesale more in the future?
Yes, I want to grow my wholesale for sure. And the way I do wholesale is way different than probably everybody else that does wholesale. my strategy in wholesale is, which I'm still growing. I'm growing, and it's a work in progress. I'm always learning. But like I focus on like closeouts where like I can only buy the product one time, and you buy all of what they have, or you don't buy it at all. So, one, I avoid other competition. You know, I do my research and I figure out if it is a product that's out there, and I try to focus on the discontinued toys where I spent years of my life just scanning. I know what's discontinued. I know what's not on the market anymore. I know what's going to be hot and what's going to continue to sell. And I focus on that stuff where when I go to these wholesalers, like they'll sometimes make me buy, 1 or 2 years worth of inventory on one SKU. And so I want to build my business up where
you will actually buy 1 year worth of inventory?
Sometimes 2.
Holy shit! And what does the ROI have to be to constitute?
And
because it's a long time to hold your capital up.
Yes, I'm learning as I go, and I probably made a shit ton of mistakes, and I probably could have invested my money in other areas. So there's a couple wholesalers that I started to buy from where I didn't buy the best inventory from them, but I felt it was a good play to get in with them, to build a relationship with them, to let them know I was serious about this. I don't advise doing this. This was probably really stupid. And I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel because some of the products I bought are, I'm breaking even on, or I'm losing 50 cents a unit, and they're trickling out very slowly. And I probably shouldn't have bought them, but just.
So when you bought these, were you thinking this is like a year supply or 2 year supply?
Yeah, and I thought I was going to make 30-40% ROI on it over the 2 years.
That's it.
Yeah, and some of them I'm breaking even. But
I thought you would have to have a 200% ROI to
Yeah, no, exactly. Said it was probably stupid. I didn't know. I literally was just learning as I was going, and it wasn't smart. Like I'm not fucking the most smartest person when it comes to this business. I've made a shit ton of mistakes, and I don't ever share my strategies that much with people because the way I've done it is completely different, and it could have been wrong, a lot of it.
Yeah.
But it finally, this was 2.5 years ago, but it finally got my foot into the door where I'm buying good inventory from these people now, where I'm getting exclusive deals, and I'm buying stuff that's not on the market anymore.
Gotcha.
And now I'm getting my deals where a lot of my stuff I'm making, 50, 100, 200% ROI on some of my products.
Yeah.
I just did an amazing buy with them. I did a test buy. They let me buy 100 units from them just to test it out. And at the time, it was a $6 product that was selling for $38, but it really wasn't moving more than 3 or 4 times a month.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? I bought it, and I slowly brought the price down to where I was breaking even. And it started to sell, and I slowly brought it up. And I got that thing pumping 50, 60 units a month at $36.
So you think it was a result of you lowering the price first?
Yes, and so now I was able to buy him out of his last 1,500 units, and I'm cranking these motherfuckers. The only one on this listing,
Nice.
40 units a month now.
Wait, let's talk a little bit about that, though. The listing wasn't getting that much volume.
Yes.
You were the only seller. You
Yes.
think you helped the listing out by bringing the price
I
down?
brought the price down.
He probably bought the product the first page. I bet you it was a second or third page product.
And now I'm selling it. But
Gotcha.
I'm getting good deals like this now moving forward, and I think it probably had a lot to do with buying this not so good product. And I'm also getting other deals from them.
So they like you because you're the person that buys
Yes,
their shit.
like they text me,
But
personally.
1,500 units that's still probably a year's supply.
It's probably, yeah. It was $6
See, like,
a
if
product.
you- I
but I'm going to
remember-
recoup a lot of my money very fast on that product because I'm making $16, 50. I don't know. So I haven't checked the number. I'm making
Even
$15
still,
a unit.
300% ROI, in my opinion. And Amazon Lit had the same conversation with Jerry at 2021 or Miami.
Yeah, it would have been the first year.
They could not even understand.
MiamiSellersConference.com.
Understand
MiamiSellersConference.com.
why
MiamiSellersConference.com.
That's www.miamisellersconference.com. www.miamisellersconference.com. They put Jerry on the spot. They're like, why on earth would you tie up your capital for a year when you could take that same capital, put it in a lower ROI, and you realize 20% ROI flipped 12 times is exponentially bigger than a 200% ROI one time. Now, if a 200% ROI one time is all you have, it's better than nothing. But you're more like a stock market trader. I don't know. It's like an Amazon seller. I feel like you need to really value that 30-day flip. Mm-hmm. It's a time game.
And I like that style of wholesale that you're talking about. The style that they do is like I want to learn about that because I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not like if people listen to this and this guy's a fucking moron. Like I made so many fucking mistakes. Like I'm one of the first people to admit where I fuck up. You know.
Well,
So
hey,
it's like,
I admit I fucked up too. Sorry.
so like I make a lot of mistakes. You know, and I'm learning, and I've made some very expensive mistakes. There were expensive lessons. And so, like, if people, like, listen to this and like, oh, this guy's a fucking idiot for buying product like this, blah, blah, blah. Like, yes, I know. I'm an idiot in some areas of my business, you know. And maybe I should have taken that route where it's like you go for the thing, you know, where you get the deals where you're able to replan your products, lower ROI, but it's really fast moving. Like, that's just an area of wholesale that I've always wanted to explore that I never did, that I want to learn. Because I do like, I love, there's something about in the business that I love long-term holds. I do a lot of long-term holds with toys, Legos and stuff like that. If I find a good deal where I'm getting a really good toy, like I do a lot of research. Like there's a lot of people that do Lego flips and they do, you know, Lego holds. Like I took that knowledge that I learned from all my friends that do long-term Lego hold flips, I took that into other areas of toys where people are sleeping on. There's other brands of toys that go up in value when you can no longer get them. And if you find the patterns and what the stuff people want, you can make money. And I'm learning. That's something, a part of the business that I really enjoy.
Do you know what I'm curious because I feel like your toy business model is like totally different than like what I'm doing or even was doing. Do you know are you tracking your numbers? Like, do you know what your ROI is like all of last year or the year before? Like, I'm just
No.
curious.
I'm horrible.
Was?
Not offhand. Like I literally do all my spending and then I give
You're working
everything.
with my numbers girl, right?
Yes, I give everything to
get
her.
you straight. She can help you out.
Wait, doesn't
Yeah.
she have the same sheet that I have?
Maybe I don't look
We gotta
at
get
it.
your numbers right, man.
Yes, I know. I'm fucking bad with my numbers, man. That's
I'd
something
be really
I struggle
curious
on.
because I'd hope that your ROI is like 60 to 70 plus. If it is, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Because if you're spending 500, like I think I spent a 500,000 last year, and if you're spending 500,000 at a 70% ROI, what's, I mean that's like 300,000, you know. But if you're spending 500,000 at a 30% ROI, it's sort of like, well, shit, we gotta figure out how to get to the 30-day flip.
Yep, exactly. Got her name actually because she's been busy. I actually told her to quit from both of you.
I would actually.
I messaged her. I said I need you to quit Taylor Jones and Jameson.
Dude, you were like giving
really?
you were like offering to
I
give her
was.
out to the whole coaching
I
group,
was.
and I was always like, "Yo, she has 12 hours in a day."
Yeah. No, you're right. She needs 12 hours of my day currently. I'm having her do like 3 of my businesses right now. So anyway, we'll bleep out her name. Find yourself a good.
No
numbers
one's gonna
girl.
find her by googling.
Dude, it happens. So the onlinejobs.ph guy, he talks about, he's like, never say your VA's name on social media because people find them.
Really?
It's a real thing. So nobody knows her name because we bleeped it out. Make sure my video editor does that.
I know. I was so surprised, dude, when you were talking. You were like, I was like, yo, she's not a god. Like, she only has so many hours
smart.
in a day. She is.
She's smart, but yeah, you're right. Anyway, we'll get back to part 2 of this podcast. We'll talk more about product research, more in-depth in wholesale, Q4 strategies that these guys are doing, what their dreams, aspirations, what their fears are, all in part 2. We'll probably be during the daytime. We'll be nice and caffeinated. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on.
Yes,
Where
sir.
can they
Yes,
find
sir.
you at?
At TaylorJones_official.com. No, that's not at TaylorJones_official. I don't know why I said that.
On you do have a website though, rjexperiences.com.
rjexperiences.com. Guys, we still have 2 spots. Queen Bed, Ocean View, Costa Rica Mastermind, July 21st to 26th. It's literally in 2 weeks. We got 2 spots
So if
left.
you guys are watching this before then, we'll drop it this Wednesday.
Yes.
Go ahead and hit us up. We got some spots available. Also, MiamiSellersConference.com. This is my co-host with the event. So
Jameson will probably be there speaking.
it's a good fucking time. Come through, meet us in person. And then we got Jameson Philippi. Where can they find you at? Jameson
Yes,
Philippi?
sir. Jameson Philippi on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube.
Yep. And I'll drop both their YouTube channels below. So go give these men a subscription. Is that what it's called? Subscription? Go subscribe. Dude, my feet are so much wider than yours.
Dude, you got really white feet, bro.
Does that
You
mean
know why mine are tan? Because I spent like 3 days in Austin in the burning sun.
All right, guys. Part 2 is coming up.
Guys, let's all
Part 2 will be below.
Let's all say, "Can I get a hall yeah?" Once, ready, 3, 2, 1.
Can I get a
Oh yeah, Daddy!